Everybody, hi. It is I, Hannah Ruhama, the Kombucha Mamma, here for Mama Mondays. I'm excited to have a guest with me today, mi amiga sincera de España. And so we'll get a chance to meet Kendra in a little bit from Casa de la Kombucha in Barcelona, España. I had such a lovely time visiting there in 2019, the last time I was out of the country. And I'm excited to share more about her, what an amazing woman she is, and her business in just a little bit. But hey everybody, how y'all doing on this Monday morning here in Los Angeles? The weather report is that it's raining. People have said people talk about the weather is super boring, but the way I think about it is it's a way of touching base with Mother Nature. I love to talk about the weather. I'm from the Midwest, and so talking about the weather was always something you did. And like I said, it's a way for me to pay attention to what's going on with Mother Nature, especially as people will often say that like LA doesn't have any seasons. That is not accurate. We do have seasons. You just have to pay closer attention to them. But I'm so excited to bring my guest Kendra live here. So let me go ahead and bring her on. Here we go. Estoy esperando. Okay. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Kendra?
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo va todo?
Muy bien, perfecto. Estoy muy feliz de verte. ¿Y cómo está en España, en Barcelona? How are you doing in Spain?
Muy bien. Estamos aquí. Bueno, hacía sol hoy. Súper bien, sí.
Perfecto. Well, primero me gustaría just say hello and introducirte.
Okay.
Nos sabemos a través de KBI Europe.
Yes.
KBI, for those of you who don't know, is Kombucha Brewers International. Esta es la Asociación de Productores de Kombucha Internacional, donde estoy presidente. Y Kendra es una persona muy importante, especialmente en nuestra comunidad de productores europeanos. So Kendra is a really important person in KBI Europe. Secretary, she's also helped us organize our reuniones, our meetings, and so welcome. I'm so glad to have you here today, Kendra.
Thank you. Sorry, 1 second.
No worries, yes, we're still live and at work. So.
Estoy haciendo un... Diles hola. Sorry, perdone.
Well, now we're getting a little tour of your facility. We can see it behind you.
Yeah, a little. I mean, it's a bit messy today. Because, Eddie left and there's still a lot of work to be done. But yeah, we have a nice little fridge. You can see our cans. Woo-hoo. We're so proud of these guys. They came out so good. It's our first try, can conditioning, and they came out with bubbles, fizzy, beautiful. I didn't know how it was going to be. I was like, this is a risk, but, it came out good.
What flavor are they? ¿Qué sabor?
Lemon ginger with lion's mane. We're using it. We're trying to start using a lot of adaptogens.
Awesome, I love that.
Yeah.
So, ¿esta es la primera vez en lata?
Sí, la primera vez.
Pero las burbujas son perfectas y el sabor es
Sí, ha salido sin añadir CO2 y ha salido muy bien. Estamos muy contentos porque, bueno, jugaba con eso mucho. It was like, maybe not. We'll see. So,
yeah, it's different when you go from homebrew to commercial producer and you're trying to create a consistent product that consumers are going to love. And then now you're trying a new packaging style. Absolutely, it can be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
So someone's asking, how did you condition? Did you leave it?
We just left it. We left it 5 days. 5 days at 20. We're at about 23, 24 degrees Celsius. And
perfecto.
Yeah. All good.
So, ¿cómo hacer la condición? Es ponerle en lata, pero los dejan en temperatura del
ambiental.
Cuarto? Is that how you say room temperature?
Yeah. Well, you say ambiental. Yeah.
Ambiental por 5 días y son perfectos. Me encanta.
Yeah.
So, primero me gustaría saber, tú eres americana, pero estás viviendo en España, en Barcelona? ¿Cómo se pasaba toda su historia? So
Um,
you're from America, but you live in Barcelona, Spain, and your business is there. How did that come to be?
yeah, so kind of the story is I study nutrition and dietetics at UT in Austin. And really, I had started making kombucha before that, but studied nutrition dietetics, decided I'd like to study more about the Mediterranean diet, decided to come to Spain, to Barcelona. Also, at the time, my kids were asked to come and play with FC Barcelona for football. They were really young at the time. And now they're going to try out in January for MLS. So let's see.
That's
So,
amazing.
kind of a side story, right? But yeah, that sort of brought us to Barcelona. And I really was only planning to stay for maybe 2-3 years max. But of course, like the kids got networked into the schools, all their friends, you know. I started working as a chef. I was really interested in writing a cookbook or something, recipe books. But I was still just learning so much, and then got into the hot cuisine. So started doing some cooking with really, really fine dining, Michelin star kitchens. So that was really an incredible experience. And then just started fiddling around with kombucha there as well. And so I'm pretty much here because of kombucha now, because I started the business, and you don't want to just leave a baby like that. So it's
Not at all.
it's kind of my new baby, my new little passion. My kids are much older now, so they don't need me as much.
Ok, perfecto. So tú eres madre, tienes 3 hijos, ¿sí?
Sí, tres.
Y al principio estudiaba nutrición y todo eso en los Estados Unidos, pero
Sí.
a través de ellos jugando al fútbol o soccer
Sí,
aquí
sí,
en los
sí.
Estados Unidos, tenía oportunidad de mudarse a Barcelona
Sí.
y al estar allá estaba un chef y tenía oportunidad de trabajar con haute cuisine, so the fancy stuff and Michelin stars. And
Yeah, I'm trying to get it
aquí
stable.
estás con su negocio.
Sí, aquí
Pero
estoy.
fue difícil o porque tú eres extranjera o tienes un pasaporte de España, ¿cómo lo hace?
No, soy extranjera todavía. Tengo una tarjeta de residencia y tengo permiso de trabajar, que también soy autónoma. Para tener negocio hay que ser, bueno, tener ese autónomo que es like freelance, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but it took a lot of work getting the tarjeta de residencia. At first, we were just with student visas. Like, even I was on a student visa, and my 3 kids. And so that sort of got us through until we got to be más residente, you know. So 5-year resident now, and then once this one's over in about 3 years, another 10 years. Puedo tener opción de hacer o de sacar pasaporte también de España, pero tengo que renunciar, which means no more U.S. citizen. So only Spanish citizens. So
They don't allow dual there.
They do in special cases, like if you're married or something. But I didn't marry Spanish, so yeah, I'm single. Yeah.
Well, ¿cuál fue su inspiración de empezar una compañía de kombucha? What inspired you to start a kombucha brand?
Okay, so I guess there was at the time not a lot of kombucha in Spain back in 2015. So I was making it for myself mostly, sharing it with friends, sharing it with chefs. At that time, I was also connected with a lot of different chefs, and they really liked it. They thought that was something very unique and different. And the flavor profiles that I was coming up with were something they'd never really tried before. So that was something new, and So they encouraged me, a lot of my friends, and then like also food writers, like journalists and stuff were trying it and saying, okay, this is something really, really unique, so go for it, go for it. And so really, I think a lot of the support from my friends were basically pushing me to do it.
This is a story we hear all the time. Esta historia es muy común en nuestro mundo. Los productores empiezan de hacer kombucha para sus mismos. La otra gente lo trata y lo gusta y dice, hey, este es algo especial, algo diferente. Debes hacer un negocio. So they like push you into doing your own job. So what were some of these amazing flavors that was tickling everyone's palate?
Let's see. So back at Les Coles, I was making a pumpkin spice with actual pumpkin. I know pumpkin spice is something, you know. But yeah, I was doing a pumpkin spice. It came out so nice. And they did a pairing with it was like 5 different ways to make pumpkin. But they actually threw in a 6th one, you know, or something like that. So that was really cool. But really, my flavor profile is insane. Like I made stuff from raw cacao, some tropical sort of flavors with fruits that whatever I can find here. But I really like to stick to flavors that are seasonal. So whatever's in season at that time is what I use, you know. I try to stay away from frozen, although as a commercial, you have to kind of make life easier on yourself. But yeah, the next step I think I'll get a really good industrial juicer because doing it by hand is very, very challenging. Let's see, some of my flavors. Like I guess a really funky one I did was with lychee and holy basil. It was really, really nice. I've done one with watermelon, aloe vera, and kiwi juice. I've done, the one that stands out the most is smoked beets. Smoked beets comes out really interesting, Hannah. I opened a bottle that I had bottled in 2018, and it is so good. It is insane. I was just like, how can this possibly be? It's the most unique thing I've ever tasted, like ever. But it's good. You're like, wow. The beets keep that sweetness. They don't turn sour or turn watered down or anything. They're really, 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 what is the word? Suited for the ferment, you know, for the kombucha ferment for sure. I think just a beet by itself, I'm not so crazy about it. I love beets, but I mean, not that much. But boy, with kombucha, it can bring it out.
So, algunos de los sabores en español, había calabaza.
Calabaza con especias, luego tengo remolacha ahumada, tengo, bueno, muchos...
Sandía, aloe vera.
Sí, aloe vera, hago un detox y el detox lleva aloe vera, lleva apio, hinojo y lleva algo de menta, sí, sí. Y es súper rico.
Y el otro que has dicho, beet ahumada,
sí,
¿cómo se dice?
Remolacha.
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 Qué interesante. Pero una botella de 3 años antes, sí. Es algo que podemos hacer con kombucha. La mayoría de personas no lo hace así porque solamente quieren beberlo inmediatamente, pero aún como... si lo hacemos en casa o si lo hacemos para vender, pienso que sería un mercado para estas botellas de kombucha más aged. A decir. So I think there's going to be a market for longer aged kombuchas because there are some really unique subtle flavor profiles that come out of it.
So madrugada.
Yeah.
Says it's passion in a can or a bottle or in a jar glass. It's so true. That's what I wanted to talk about. Like I think it's interesting to think about the sources for your creativity and where creativity comes from. It comes from this passion too. But I think it's so essential to have a really good, happy, present sort of mentality so that you can kind of get that creativity flowing. And I find it, I find myself to be fortunate to be able to express that not everybody gets that chance. And so, yeah, there's some tough times. There's some really tough times going, you know, doing your own business and doing it like everything yourself, you know. But finding time for that creativity moment is where my motivation comes from, to just keep drudging through, because there's some not so pretty side of things, you know, the boxing till forever, and you know, never ending bottles and cleaning, and I don't know, that side of it.
Yeah, well, as I call it, it's a labor of love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, labor of love, emphasis on the labor, but like you're saying, you got to find the love, because that's why you do it.
Yeah,
so es un trabajo de amor, su creatividad se viene de su pasión, ¿sí? Y hay que tomar tiempo, hay que darse la oportunidad de exprimirse a través de su pasión.
It's
¿sí?
Yop, that's why. How cool.
Yop?
Yeah, he's Madrugada. Es un chico que va a ayudarnos a dar cursos aquí.
Oh, perfecto. Hola, Yop.
Yeah. Qué bien.
Gracias por estar aquí. Pero otra cosa, I mean, ¿qué piensan de kombucha en España? How is kombucha perceived in Spain? ¿Es popular? ¿Es algo extraño? ¿Tu compañía es 3 años o?
Sí, 3 años. Let's see. I would say no está bien conocido todavía. Hay un camino por adelante para educar a la gente. Tengo la suerte de tener la tienda y la gente viene con preguntas siempre. O sea, a veces son 20 minutos que estoy con un cliente que tiene preguntas de los beneficios, de las propiedades, de cómo se toma, cuándo, y seguro, o sea, hay un montón de preguntas frecuentes. I got it twisted there. But yeah, I think like taking the time out is important too. Like you have to have that human connection to be able to talk to people. So that's a fortunate thing we have.
Yeah, so it sounds like what really helps your business is having the store. And I 100% advocate for kombucherias, for taprooms, because I think, especialmente en estos tiempos, cuando hay mucha división a través de muchas cosas, especialmente aquí en los Estados Unidos, acerca de nuestra salud, es importante que tenemos lugares donde la comunidad se puede venir y tomar estas comidas muy saludables y tener una energía, una oportunidad de conectarse con otras personas de mentes semejantes. So I think it's really important we have these places, these kombucheries, where people can come and get healthy foods and products, and that's also going to allow them to have a connection. You know, we really need community now more than ever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the truth of it is that food and nutrition, alimentación, it's a source of love. Like, to me, that's what it is. It's the language of love, you know? Yeah, definitely agree.
La fuente del amor, esta kombucha. ¿Y qué más haces? ¿Solamente la kombucha o tienes otras bebidas allá? Do you have other things besides kombucha?
No.
No, John?
Oh, yeah, we do John occasionally, by the way. I need a new mother.
On it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need. So, the funny thing is, because people don't know so much about kombucha here, they know even less about Jun, you know what I mean? So we were just trying to stick with something kind of more simple at first, but of course Jun for me, you know, I'm like all about the Jun. But yeah, it's an interesting task, I guess, to teach people, but it's word of mouth, you know, people tell each other and they come in because someone said it was helping them, you know, and I think that's the key too. That each person has to try for themselves, you know, they have to experience it. And once they've experienced it, then they can speak on it, I think, or becomes a part of them.
Well, yo want you to make the Jen again. Es la reina.
I know. We were talking about it, yeah.
Well, tú eres como maga con sus sabores y todo esto, pero sí, es difícil educar a toda la gente y tienes algunos signos, signs o cosas que la gente puede ver o algo así, o solamente lo comunica a través de hablar con ellos.
Ya, normalmente es solo hablar, pero tengo algunos flyers, tipo flyers. No sé qué, pamphlets, flyer, pero they're just very sencillo. Tiki, tiki.
Oh, cute. Probio, Casa de la Kombucha.
That's my SCOBY. My SCOBY moon.
It's so pretty. Qué bonita.
Sí.
La madre es bonita.
Yeah.
Y, ¿lo vende afuera de su tienda o solamente en la tienda?
Sí, vendemos en diferentes bares, cafés. Bueno, bares es like a café, aquí es cafetería. Diferentes tiendas ecológicas, the organic markets. We're just slowly, but very organically growing. We're trying to go at a pace we can handle, and not get too ahead of ourselves. So we're now distributing we're sending, not distributors, but to different places all over Spain, but mostly just Spain.
Well, Spain's large enough.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Yeah, and hay otros, sí, poco a poco, pero en España, otras partes, pero hay otra competición allá. ¿Quiénes son los otros productores allá en Barcelona?
¿De kombucha o de...?
De kombucha.
Hay otra gente también que producen y muy buenos productos. Para nosotros, yo veo como una comunidad, yo veo como todos amigos. Competición, la única cosa que puede cambiar o variar mucho es el precio, que algunos se venden muy barato y otros un poco más caro. Es la diferencia a veces que eligen una tienda a coger tu producto o otro. Es muchas veces por eso. Pero hay muy buenos productores y cada vez hay más.
Sí, pienso que aunque hay mucha educación que todavía tenemos que hacer, pero al mismo tiempo hay más y más personas quien lo hace. Y la verdad es, yo pienso que no hay bastante productores de kombucha solamente porque necesitamos que cada persona lo está tomando para su inmunidad se aumenta, para se proteja a sí mismo, especialmente en estos tiempos cuando estamos pensando en nuestra salud, y es muy importante que incluimos más comidas probióticas. Y como tú has dicho, beber kombucha es como una experiencia, no es solamente una bebida refrescante, pero es una experiencia físicamente que toma lugar en nuestros cuerpos cuando tomamos la kombucha. Y a veces hay otros tipos de productos que no son, que no tienen lo mismo efecto, pero al mismo tiempo son mejor que, otros tipos de bebidas como jugos y sodas y todo esto.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of really good products out there, but people want that experience. They want that kombucha promise, and it's something that you really have to take for yourself and feel it, so that way you know what the kombucha is doing. But we have a lot of great work we're doing as KBI Europe, including we're pursuing a TSG. ¿Quieres hablar un poco sobre TSG? Lo que ¿cómo nos ayudará?
TSG is a special delineation.
Traditional specialties guarantee.
Yeah, for a product that is definable or unique. And kombucha is one of those that at the moment there are different sort of maybe versions of it or ways to make it. And so this is a way for us to sort of protect the more authentic way of making it, or at least to communicate to the public that there are certain standards in terms of how to make it, so that you can guarantee it does have probiotics that are living, that will be beneficial, that you will see benefits and results when you're taking it. So this is our sort of battle or struggle, you know, to help educate not just the public, but also the lawmakers and so on and so forth, so that we can have some sort of a guideline, basically. And that's really, really important, really where we're at, you know? So,
well, especially because we're seeing brands from outside of even Europe coming into the space, claiming to be, you know, certain types of products that they may or may not be. And so we're really just looking for transparency.
Yeah.
The reality is, like, a kombucha is going to be better for you than most of the other products sitting on the shelves, including just a probiotic soda that has, you know, a single strain, maybe the same strain you find in 50 other food products.
Yeah.
You know, those products aren't going to have the same type of benefit as something that is done in a traditional process. And so, you know, we're open. We love innovation. We love all that. But just like juice, we want to give consumers that choice, so they know that what's in the bottle is what the label says is in the bottle.
Absolutely.
So we're really passionate about el código de kombucha y cómo lo podemos ayudar a todo el mercado y a todos los consumidores para que saben qué está en la botella.
Yeah.
Este es de concentración, este es tradicional y vivo, este es pasteurizado. No es decir que otros tipos de kombucha no tienen función o no te ayudan, por supuesto, son mejor que la mayoría de las bebidas, pero lo que es más importante que la gente sepan, porque cuando yo compro una kombucha de Casa de Kombucha, yo puedo ver que hay algunos cultivos en la botella, pero otro tipo no hay nada. Y es importante que sabemos como consumidores qué ponemos en nuestros cuerpos.
We like it live. We like it live.
Live gives us the energy. Exactly. So if you had any advice to anyone out there who's starting their own kombucha company, what's something you would tell, like, the Kendra of 3 years ago, 5 years ago?
Ooh, that's a good one. Organization is important. Number one, I would. But yeah, to not lose your passion, like we were talking about earlier. The passion is really what keeps things moving, keeps it going. And I find myself a lot going into my happy place, and my happy place is just that moment of creativity where you're walking in nature, or you know, you're on a boat, a kayak, or whatever, and all of a sudden popping into your head are these flavors, and they're like combining together, you know, pomegranate with rose hips and roses, and what else could go with this, you know? These are the moments that keep you going, that keep you motivated, that drive everything. Otherwise, it's just nuts and bolts, you know, and it loses, I think, its soul. And that's something that I really would never hope to do, you know, lose that soul.
Right.
So, yeah.
¿En español?
En español, pues digo que no se puede perder la pasión para lo que hagas, y buscar esos momentos felices en el día a día, pero tienes que, o sea, se puede reflejar en esos momentos del pasado, en el futuro que vas creando desde un lugar de paz, de amor y de alma, sobre todo.
Sí, es muy importante, y pienso que, como tú has dicho, ir a la naturaleza. Todos somos humanos creídos de este planeta de Gaia, de la tierra, de amor, y cuando cuando somos canales para este amor de Gaia,
Yeah.
nos exprima en estos sabores interesantes
Yeah.
y
Y que
es como podemos jugar con
que
todos
nos
esos.
nutren y nos ayudan y es como medicina, es mucho, mucho más que solo crear un sabor muy guay. So someone is asking about my ferment vessels, what I'm using.
Yes.
So I had these winemakers make me like a shallower kind of.
So custom vessel?
Yeah. But I've got a few more wine size vessels, but like these are, you can see behind me, these are my vessels. And I mean, I'm just going off of a really simple, like I'm on the basic level in terms of equipment right now. But it gets the job done, you know. But these are 304 stainless steel. So that's if I did a 316, that would be so heavy that I couldn't move things around and it just wouldn't work. So that's what I would recommend.
So 304 is the way to go, stainless steel. And then, sí, el tamaño de los jarros, ¿cómo se dice?
Depósito.
Depósito.
Yeah.
Es importante porque kombucha, como cultiva en casa, se necesita oxígeno. Y si el tamaño del depósito es demasiado estrecho, no hay bastante oxígeno que se puede penetrar a todo el líquido y la levadura y la bacteria no pueden funcionar como se deben. Y entonces es muy importante, por esta razón que tú has encontrado a alguien quien puede hacerte estos depósitos custom. Pero es importante que esta es la cosa más importante de hacer kombucha, yo pienso, es conocer a sus levaduras y bacterias y cómo se funcionan, porque es ellos quienes hacen el trabajo. Sí, necesitamos gustar a todos, somos los, caretakers, cuidadores, no sé cómo se dice, pero la verdad es que ellos están haciendo todo el trabajo y lo que necesitamos hacer es darles la mejor oportunidad de hacer lo que se hacen.
Okay, so this is my bowl. I also play my bowl for them.
I love that.
So,
singing bowl.
Singing bowl will create a beautiful SCOBY. They're kind of smooth on the top, on the surface, and really healthy and vibrant. Don't know why. I mean, we know a little bit about the science of the singing bowls and how it can affect the frequencies and how that can affect the structures of the cells. So that's, I guess, what we're seeing whenever we see a really beautiful, clean SCOBY after playing bowls for it. So
that's so nice. That's an amazing tip.
Yeah.
So la frecuencia de los sonidos de utilizar sound bowl se crecen una SCOBY mejor, más bonita, porque al recibir estas frecuencias, ella se cambia como se hace. Oh my God, me encanta. So what other magic witchy tips do you do?
Magic witchy tips. I have tourmaline on my water filter. Oops.
Oh, nice.
That just went away.
Are you gonna play for us?
I was gonna play, but play.
We'd love to hear it.
Because I gotta hold the phone and I can't hold the bowls at the same time.
Well, we'll look at something in your place while you play for a second.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'll put you with this little flower. Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
Ready? You can't really hear it so well, but it'll. I think the SCOBY'S can feel it. They feel the
vibración.
Yeah, the frequencies. So anyway.
Oh, I can hear it.
I'm trying to get it to my mic, but you hear it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
It's a low frequency, but that's the one they liked, so that's the one I go with. I do.
So, you tried different sound bowls to see what they responded to?
Yeah, I did.
Very cool.
So I also burn some Palo Santo every now and then. I do sage too. I definitely like to burn some sage in the place. Just
nice.
It cleans energies, it's all around good for you. So.
Yeah, well, hay muchas personas que entran en su tienda y hay que limpiar la energía con sage y todos estos.
Salvia.
Oh, qué bonito. Me encanta que tú lo haces así.
Ya. Es algo que he hecho, bueno, hace muchos años. O sea, no solo aquí en mi casa, también cuando era para mí misma. Porque
Sí.
es la frecuencia de healing, de curación, you know. So it's very, very
Necesitamos más de esa frecuencia en nuestras vidas.
so
Todo el mundo lo necesita.
he wants me to show the tourmaline on the water. So the water filters I'm using are something my dad recommended and suggested. So we have a 3-stage, actually it's 4-stage water coolers. But this is the tourmaline that I use to help get rid of electromagnetic radiation.
Nice, it's beautiful.
That's that. So.
So me encanta que tú traes todas estas otras cosas de belleza, de naturaleza, de frecuencias, de curar y lo infuse en su kombucha.
Yeah.
Y, es muy interesante, me encanta. Hay otra pregunta sobre my pH has dropped from 5 to 3.8, but my gravity hasn't changed. Is that okay? Ambient temperature. So what I would say there is like Brix is a unsophisticated way to measure sugar, and as the disaccharide of sucrose breaks into the monosaccharides, it can not appear to change much, because even though the sugar format is changing, Brix isn't sophisticated enough to separate out those different sugars. Do you use Brix? Do you use pH? Do you use TA? What do you use for your metric?
I use Brix and pH.
Yeah.
And I do hydrometer, which is like you just for your density. So we had to check the density big time because of the canning. We were canning. Our density is really, really high though.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's an imprecise way to understand, like, is that sucrose in there? Is it fructose or glucose? So there are folks who use tools that are a little more sophisticated. Everybody starts more basic and then you gradually grow. But I mean, there's nothing that replaces sort of the palate and the tongue to understand those flavors.
Absolutely.
But of course, at some point, when we codify those things, that just helps us then have more of that work-life balance we were talking about.
Very important.
Muy importante. So, hay muchas herramientas que podemos utilizar para medir a nuestra kombucha, pero la cosa que nos van a decir la más información es la lengua. Por supuesto, cuando lo tomamos, lo bebimos, podemos experienciar todo lo que está pasando.
Saborear.
Saborear. Gracias.
Saborear. Yeah.
Saborear.
Yeah, that's like the taste. Sabor is like a taste. Saborear is taste. Okay.
So someone's also Way Out Kombucha is asking, how do you encourage people to get your small Lux brand with these flavors at 250 mils? They're asking about the size of your bottles.
Oh, I have 330, not 250. Oh, I do have a 250. That's right. So we do on tap here in the tap room. These three. Let's see. So we got this one, 1 liter, half liter, and then the 250s. They're more for like tourists who are walking by. They don't have a bottle with them or something, so they just use.
It's like your grab and go.
And they love it. It's just so cute.
It is so cute. That's how you get them to buy it, because it's adorable, and what a great souvenir.
It's so cute.
Yeah. It's super cute. So what if I was in Barcelona? Is there a special deal if I come to Casa de la Kombucha?
Yeah, of course. Come on by. No. So we definitely have discounted prices compared to maybe the retails that you would see around. But like we have some of the flavors that are just in a pre-filled bottle. Those we give a discount, a 10% discount. So that's something you'll only get here.
Well, I thought there was like a Mama. Isn't there some special offer to folks who are watching this video today?
Yes, of course. Whoever wants to come by, we'll give you a free SCOBY. How about that?
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's great.
Mention Mama Kombucha, right?
Mama Kombucha.
And we'll give you a free SCOBY.
That's so cool. So not only do you have delicious kombucha, but you're a teacher. You teach classes there too?
Yeah, actually, I teach classes at the Culinary Institute of Barcelona. No, but here we've done occasional workshops and personal classes. So more like a consulting. But yeah, we're trying to get it going. We're going to be getting it going very soon, right? Right,
Perfecto, sí. Porque cuando haces kombucha siempre hay SCOBY'S extras.
Yeah.
Entonces, si se utiliza el frase Mamma Kombucha, en casa de kombucha le darán un SCOBY para que tú puedas hacerlo tú mismo en casa. Si vives en Barcelona, tú puedes take advantage of this. I'm like, how do I say? Tomar ventaja? That's not right. That's my
You can aprovechar
de esta oportunidad.
Esta
Oferta, sí.
Yes.
Perfecto. ¿Algo más que quieres compartir con toda la gente quien está mirando a nuestro video? ¿Algunas palabras?
Okay, no, I think lo más importante es seguir tus pasiones y cuidar a ti misma y todo el resto se cae en su sitio, ¿no?
Sí.
Que el poder de estar presente, de estar con conciencia de lo que estás haciendo, te da felicidad. Y es eso que sería mi mensaje para todos.
Yeah,
Right.
so self-care.
Self-care, yes. My message to everyone is just to be present and I guess, yeah, just live with a good conscience, you know, and that's where you can find true happiness, right?
Pues muchas gracias por estar aquí, Kendra. Encantaba todo que nos han compartido hoy. Y si las personas quieren seguir a todas sus aventuras, ¿dónde se consigue?
Sí, en Casa de la Kombucha. If you look in Casa de la Kombucha Instagram, then we're putting more of our stories on a daily basis. So what's really cool, I think, too, about ours, or what's more unique, is they're actual experiences, you know, and I think you see people maybe wanting to promote a certain lifestyle or a certain thing. These are actually what we're doing on a daily basis, on a regular basis, out in nature, big time. They're real experiences, not some stock photo, you know? So
yeah,
that's what's cool, I guess.
So do you do a lot of your own photos for the for the beauty shops and whatnot?
Lately I do, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But,
That's awesome. Well, muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotras y gracias por todo que tú haces.
No,
y espero que...
Hannah, too. I mean, everything you do is, I can't even, there's no words. It's you're an inspiration for so many, and not just inspiration, but like a source of so much knowledge, so much good energy, good information. I think your energy is what would you call it? Contagious. Yeah, I love it. So keep up the hard work too. You're fighting the good
We're doing
fight.
it together. We grow together. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Juntos.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
All right,
I can't
gracias.
wait to see you in California.
Yeah, California for Kombucha Kamp, March of 2022. If you make kombucha, you got to be there. It is for commercial producers. Of course, if you're considering taking the plunge, it would be an awesome place to come meet people, learn about stuff. We've got our early bird going on right now. Thank you. I totally spaced it. But yeah, check out at Kombucha Brewers on Instagram and Facebook. You'll find all the details there. But and I hope that we'll get to come back to Europe and do another event there as well.
Of course.
So.
Of course.
All right. Gracias, amiga.
Gracias,
Bye.
Ana.
Thank you.
Bye.
Facebook.